Hari Om. A small analysis on the concept of devotion. So, devotion means bhakti in Telugu and Hindi. And what is the devotion actually? How we can get devotion in this material world? There's material life. So, another word for devotion, what we can say is love. So, love means it is not this narrow minded love, but love for the work we do, love for what we learn, love for what we read. So, all this comes under devotion only. And only when we really love to do something, we will find that completeness in that work we do, and we can enjoy the blissful state of the work. So, not only work, any action, say like music or kuchipudi, dance, bharatanatyam, or worshipping arts. So, all these come under activities only, and we can experience that state only when we love something, when we have devotion towards that, then only we can dedicate towards that, and we can enjoy that state where we can feel that ecstatic moments. So, for example, if we go to some historical place or some other scenic place, if we love that place only, we can enjoy that. We can dive in that and experience that state of that beauty of the scenario or any other historical place or anything. We can, in fact, we can go back to that age. So, at the time of reading, learning, and doing work, like even at the time of cooking, also, if we don't love cooking, then what we do? We just do it as we like. We don't bother. Okay, we also eat, but okay, we'll do something. Let us do something. But if we really love what we cook, then we put the entire concentration on that and devote that time towards cooking and bring out the tasty dishes. Now, likewise, love towards money, love towards wealth, love towards properties, love towards gold. So, all these, if we love only, we can buy innumerable things, innumerable ornaments. And when we see those ornaments, we feel so happy. We can experience that blissful state on seeing the ornaments or riches or wealth or money, all that. When we count the money, then we feel, oh, so happy we feel. Likewise. But all these, they come under material things, which we see, which we can think, which we can feel with our hands and experience that. But coming to God, so devotion is a word related to God. In fact, devotion is a bridge between God and man. So, devotion is a love between God and man to actually feel and experience that blissful state of devotion towards God, where we forget everything, where we forget the material world and we enjoy the moments, always feeling His presence in our words, in our songs, in our worship, prayers, all these. But how can we develop this devotion towards him? Because we see him in an idol, we see him in a portrait, we see him in a photo. So, just a mechanical way, we just pray to him and say some stotras or something, and then we complete our work. But it doesn't come under devotion. Devotion is something which we experience it in the core of the heart. And how we get this devotion is another factor. Just by saying some stotras or some slokas, it doesn't mean that we have devotion or love towards God. Maybe we can say even in a mechanical way, just as we get up and do all the other activities, daily activities. Even this also may be one of the activities. But it doesn't intensify our feel or devotion towards Him. And now coming to the factor how we can get the devotion. So actually we know that in our Hindu culture, so many gods and goddesses are there. So when we see one Nataraja Swami, what we feel that in a dancing posture, we feel happy. But in fact, there are no leelas of him. When we see another like Lord Rama or another incarnation like Bali Chakravarti or a Vamana incarnation in who put one foot on the earth and another foot on the sky, galaxies, and sent Bali with the third foot to the Patala. But on seeing that Vamana avatar, we can only feel that his magnanimity. But we cannot develop that love towards him, that devotion towards him. When we see that Vamana incarnation, we just fold our hands. But it is not something like love towards him which we feel all the time, his presence. Now, coming to the same thing with Rama. Rama is the embodiment of Dharma. It's an incarnation, undoubtedly. But throughout his life, except his childhood, he suffered all the time for the sake of Dharma. So we feel like practicing Dharma. Because whenever we see the idol of Rama, we always fold our hands with the feel that even in the state of idol, he is a symbol of Dharma. So Rama Vigrahavan Dharma. So we develop devotion towards him, but not to that extent as we develop towards Krishna. Krishna is God, Rama is avatar. So in that avatar, he made known to the world all the problems that humans suffer. He also suffered. So we only feel sad to see his plight. Even at the time of reading also we shed tears because when he cried for Sita Devi, we also shed tears on reading the Ramayana. So likewise. But coming to Sri Krishna, his leelas are innumerable. His gestures are different. So as a child, so eating the butter, or playing the flute, or wearing the adorning the peacock feather. So all these actually we develop a sense of devotion and love towards seeing him, seeing his leelas. All the and whenever we see, every time we feel something new. Every time we feel something new, how it happened, how it happened. So how a 5 years old boy could dance on Kali, the big serpent. So how he could kill Putana, how he killed Kamsa. So how royal he was. And when this is one aspect, so seeing him, his leelas all the time, we experience when we sing about his leelas, we experience a state of blissfulness in us. And when we see Radha Krishna, the love of them. In fact, Radha was very big, elder to Krishna. And together they spent in Gokulam for a very less time. After that, they didn't even see each other. But that itself is enough. When we see their pictures or their way of life, how their life was described in Bhagavatam, we always experience that blissful state in us, and automatically we develop the love. We develop the devotion. So a love towards something develops devotion, and the devotion towards something make us dedicated and make us experience that state. Then there is and whatever is beautiful we always feel like seeing. That is human tendency. So whatever is beautiful we always feel like seeing. So if we see a beautiful flower, we feel like seeing again. If we see the beautiful sun rays or the waves of the ocean always splashing the shore, we feel like seeing again. Whenever we go, we always feel that same ecstatic moments in us. We experience it. When we see the black clouds with the silver lining, when we see the different forms of clouds formed in the sky, aligned in the sky, when we see the moon, when we see the moonlight, we always feel like enjoying the moonlight. When we see the lotus in a pond, we feel like seeing again and again. And the same feeling will come in us. There will be no difference in the feeling. Maybe it will be more intense. The love towards that will be more intensified. As we go on seeing the beauty of something, as we go on seeing the beauty of the nature, we be so much indulged in that. We dive in that so much that we forget ourselves and we find that beauty all around us. Same beauty. So here the Krishna Leelas or the Lord Venkateshwara Leelas, when we come to see. Venkateshwara Leelas were a little bit different when compared to Sri Krishna Leelas. So all the Leelas of Sri Krishna took place when he was a child himself. So when we read that, we always feel something nerve wracking. And his very childhood pictures itself, catching the butter in one hand and seeing so mischievously into our eyes, we develop a love towards seeing all the time, which itself is devotion. So devotion is not a separate aspect in our life. So for material world, if we have a passion to acquire, we can get to that love or devotion. But for the non-material, spiritual world, if we go on reading the Leelas, if we go on chanting his name, so, and if we go on singing songs in praise of him, automatically we develop that devotion towards him. And that itself is a bridge between him and us. Just as a rainbow bridges the earth and sky, so also the devotion bridges us with the God and unites us with the God. Because we, at the time of singing his songs or praying to him, offering prayers or worshipping him, we never think of hunger or thirst also. We forget even those. We forget our bodily presence, in fact. And so many great people like Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Bhagwan Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Sankaracharya or Madhvacharya, they all felt, forgetting everything, they felt his presence by experiencing the blissful state a number of times. And that could happen only because they developed a devotion towards him. And devotion is nothing another form of love. Devotion is another form of love. So here developing love towards the spiritual aspect, like it is a Saguna Bhakti. Saguna Bhakti. So that's why we see the idols. And when we feel the idol so beautiful, we always feel like seeing it again and again. When we sit in front of the idol, we get so many thoughts that as if the idol is in fact lifeless. But we feel that it has life and that Lord's eyes are looking into our eyes. And he is smiling at us. And he spread his hands to protect us. So many feelings come for us. And these take place only when we have a devotion towards God. And once again to say devotion is nothing but another but form of love towards certain thing, which makes us become dedicated to that and develop an samarpana bhavam totally to him at his lotus feet. So let us all develop that beautiful, unparalleled devotion like Mirabai or Sakubai, Janabai, and other great devotees who could experience that ecstatic, blissful moments in their lives and make our lives worthy of our life itself, which is the greatest boon for us given by him. Hari Om.